The story you're about to see involves a man named Bruce Anderson, many of his friends, and 4 aircraft. Sit back while your brain absorbs the joy, the anguish, the pain, and the humor of this awesome aviation adventure. The first part of our story begins at a place many refer to as Buckeye International. This is where we'll be refurbishing a Beech Travel a B-35, and where the journey begins. And here she is, the Whittman Tail, one of the first certified home builds. She is the reason for the journey to sunny California. We find ourselves watching the painstaking effort by Mr. Anderson to make sure his travel air becomes a beautiful swan. Here she sits on stands, ready to have her gear removed by Mr. Anderson and Mr. Newman. Soon she will be ready for her first coat of new feathers. And here we find Mr. Anderson caressing her with his fingers and with his wonderful words. Mr. Anderson has learned that taking a picture helps his memory and understands the 1,000 words a picture tells. If there's one thing we have all learned, is taking pictures makes it so much easier to put it back the way it came apart. Here we have another star of our picture show. His name is Mr. Will Presley. As you will see in these next few frames, Mr. Presley will demonstrate his progress in aviation know-how, sweeping the floor. He will impress you with his awesome abilities, his swift and lightning speed floor sweeping techniques. You will simply be amazed. And here we have caught Mr. Presley with his hands in his pockets, and you all thought all he did was work while at the hangar. Well, guess again. And with eagle eyes, Mr. Presley looks over his B-35 to determine what he is going to ask Bruce. What's next? Mr. Presley was very proud of himself this day. Mr. Anderson gave him a diploma to operate with a larger broom. Now Mr. Presley can get a lot more sweeping done. That's right, Will. Get her done. And here we find Mr. Presley after being scolded by Mr. Anderson. He's got to get her done. And here we find a B-35, and it is number 2 project getting underway. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? And just like all the other ladies of the world, she is getting a nose job by the professional hands of Mr. Anderson and Mr. Presley. We end this portion of our story with a picture burned in our minds of Mr. Presley's accomplishments with the broom. And here she sits under the glow of the neon moon with all of her old feathers removed. Now the facelift begins. I'm not sure who had the daunting task to tape up all these holes, but I'm sure that person is glad the task is over. And here she is, with her nose taped up and her power plants covered, ready to have her wings covered with new feathers. As you can see here, Mr. Anderson has proven once, a body man, always a body man. Fill those imperfections with fondant. With her gear removed, she is ready for her brand shiny new feathers to be applied by her master, Mr. Anderson. And here she shows off her new feathers for everyone to see. She has been so patient through this whole process. These next few frames, we will admire her beautiful new feathers Mr. Anderson has applied to her wings. And here we have Mr. Anderson and Mr. Newman preparing to install the nicely painted last set of her landing gear. And here again we have caught Mr. Presley with his hands in his pockets, waiting for a chance to use his broom again. Get her done, Bruce. Get her done so I can use my broom.